Hi, Peter Core from National Rejoin March here. I put out a video a couple of days ago about Richard Tice being a traitor to the working class, and there's been loads of comments on the videos wherever I've posted it. So rather than typing them all out on my phone, I thought I'd just make a video to answer some of them. Why such crap video technique? You even make Farage look good. Well, I do all my videos with my phone in my lorry after a 12-hour shift normally, so sorry if they're not professional looking. The country had a democratic vote to leave. Don't you believe in democracy? I do believe in democracy. I think it's flawed, but the best system we have of making life fair for people. So yeah, I do believe in democracy. Reform is the party of the future, and in 2028 we'll have a landslide victory. Well, you clearly don't know how first past the post works. If you believe that, ask Richard Tice, even he knows. Reform is all we've got left. Well, if that's the case, we really are up shit stream without a paddle, aren't we? I do not care about any of his policies. He will stop the boats. That's all that matters. He will not stop the boats. Reform's policy is to send them back to France. France already take many more migrants than the UK does, so they're not going to accept them. So then what? Go to war with France or something? I mean, it's just it's a non-policy. It's not going to happen. He will not stop the boats because he doesn't want to open up safe routes and actually help people. And that's how to stop the boats. We voted out, get over it. No, I'll never get over it. What did you do in the forces? Dresser? I'm not even sure what a dresser is in the forces. I googled it before I started this video, and it's in the Indian Army anyway. It's somebody who provides medical clothing to I was in the Royal Signals in the forces. We will not fall for rejoining the corrupt EU. People that say that, how do we know about any corruption that's gone on in the EU? I'll tell you how we know, because the EU got it reported to them, they investigated it, and when they found people to have been corrupt, they charged them, and then it was reported in European media. So when the EU finds corruption, it deals with it and charges the people responsible. Can we say the same for the UK politicians and government? I think not. Can you, as a working class lorry driver, name me the benefits of the EU to you personally? There's lots of benefits of the EU and a country being in it. As a lorry driver, one example is we've had our workers' rights diminished since leaving the EU. For example, increasing working hours, driving hours for drivers, which just makes drivers more tired and stressed and is going to cause more accidents. They say our wages have increased. They have increased, but by nowhere near as much as inflation. And by increasing lorry drivers' wages over increasing lorry drivers' wages, you're just making inflation worse, because everything in the country is delivered with lorries. So the companies aren't going to pay for our extra wages, are they? They're going to put it onto the goods that we all buy. The EU will be gone within 2 years. No, it won't. The EU is growing. Countries are applying to join the EU, and one good example is Ukraine is being fast-tracked right now so it can join the EU. The EU is growing. It won't be gone. Problem is, houses go to immigrants, not working-class folk. Houses go to people who need them, especially if we're talking about social housing or council housing. If you need the house and there's houses, you'll get one. The problem is there isn't enough houses. There's no council houses being built at all, and existing ones are still being sold off to people and then being rented out in the private sector for God knows how much more. The problem isn't people, no matter where they're from. The problem is a lack of housing, especially council housing. We just need to build lots more council houses. Now, oi Baldy, who should we vote for then? Anyone but Tory, Reform, Britain First, the Brexit Party, they're all the same people with the same policy, and the same policy is to just get us all turning against each other, rather than them coming up with policies to actually fix the problems in our country. A good idea would be to follow Carol Vorderman and her campaign for tactical voting. And then we could hopefully get some politicians who want to change the system in there. to make voting more fairer in the future. Current economic problems have nothing to do with Brexit. Yes, they do. All economists, I'll spit it out eventually, tell us that 40 to 80% of the UK's inflation is because of Brexit. 52% of businesses that have gone bust since we left the EU say it's because of Brexit. The idea that Brexit has no effect on our economy is ridiculous, to be honest with you. And nobody says Brexit is responsible for all of our problems, but it certainly makes all of our problems worse. We will never rejoin LOL. Yes, we will. It's not if, it's when. You just need to look at the polling. 60% without even a mainstream rejoin campaign want to rejoin now. Over 80% of under 25s who are the future want to rejoin now. So we will. Get over it, you lost. No, never. Jog on, lefty bellend. Thanks, I'm not sure what makes me a lefty. I'm because I care about people. I can tell by your voice that you're a lefty. Oh right, so lefties have a certain voice. I'm often told that I sound like Zippy off of Rainbow with my voice, so maybe that means I'm a lefty. Garbage, politics of envy. It's not at all. I think we should all have a fair amount of the wealth distributed, that's all. It's not about envy. I don't want anything Richard Tice has. Do you support immigration? I do, yeah. I think the country needs immigration to help lots of sectors. I love meeting people from different places around the world, going around the country in my job. I do support immigration, yeah. Why don't you just fuck off to the EU? Well, I can't, can I? Because we cancelled freedom of movement by leaving the EU. So now only people with lots of money can move to an EU country because they can afford all the extra costs that's involved. So working class and poor people can no longer do that. We left Europe, get over it. We didn't leave Europe. The UK is still in Europe. Check the map. You're not working class, you liar. Okay. Well, I was born on a council estate. I lived on a council estate right up until I joined the army. I did a normal job in the army, left the army, became homeless for a short time, got back on my feet, and now we're privately renting a house. I'm a lorry driver on literally the average UK wage. I'm not a liar. We left Europe, get over it. Oh, that was the one before, sorry. We're still in Europe. Name one party that cares about white heterosexual males. What's white heterosexual males got to do with anything? All of them. Get over it. Save your salty tears. I'm not crying. I'm just fighting for what I know is the best thing for my country. What is it about democratic decisions you don't like? I like democratic decisions, even if I've lost them. But democracy is fluid. Just because the people wanted one thing one year don't mean they want the same thing a few years later. Germany's in recession. Why would we want to rejoin that? The UK has about 0.01% growth, don't it? I mean, we're not technically in recession, but we damn as well might as well be. But anyway, just because an individual European country is in recession, that's nothing to do with the EU or the single market. In fact, Germany's recession would be worse if they had just left the EU. And that's proven by the UK's economy being hurt even more because we left the EU. So that's just a nonsense. If you want to be in Europe, go and live there. I already live in Europe. The UK is in Europe. Check the map. And finally, stop moaning. I'm not moaning. Again, I'm just fighting for my country and what I know is right for it. So that's that. So that's all of the comments I got on the video about Richard Tice. I hope you like your answers. Keep them coming. Keep supporting National Rejoin March and the event we've got coming up in March this year, and then the third National Rejoin March in London later on in the year. And keep following us. I'll see you again soon. Bye.